Hey, what is going on, guys? It's your man Chance here, your coach of the Camden Ursarings, and it looks like we're back for season 2 of the P4G. If any of you remember last year, we were a part of the debut season of the P4G. Shout out to KyleAye for inviting me again to season 2. So I plan just to have some fun. We're gonna go over my draft. It's gonna be a nice and powerful draft analysis, and just gonna go down what we have for this year's team. Last year's team I did like a lot. This year, I think I like this team a little bit more. Got my handy dandy notebook here, and we're gonna go over what we got. Alright, so just to go over, how the draft worked. If you guys didn't see the draft that went down over on aDrive's Twitch channel, the way that the draft worked, it was a snake style draft. It would descend, then it would ascend again. So in that draft, I was going down I was 9, and going up I was 8, so I was directly in the middle. But the way that we drafted was there were different tiers of Pokemon, and you were allotted to draft 1 tier 1 Pokemon, 1 tier 2 Pokemon, 2 tier 3 Pokemon, a tier 4, a tier 5, 4 free agent Pokemon that fit within your in your 400 point allotment, and 1 Mega. So let's go over the motherfuckers. Alright, so for tier 1, we ended up snagging Starmie, the nice and powerful all-around monster that Starmie is, water and psychic type Pokemon. I drafted Starmie just because I've never really used Starmie. Starmie to me was one of those Pokemon that I always wanted to use, but I never really got a chance to, get down and dirty with it. So this year we will be rocking out with some of that nice and powerful Starmie. We also chose Starmie as our one of our offensive Z-move users, so it has that pack bonus as well. For tier 2, we ended up taking Buzzwole. Buzzwole, like I said, I'm not very familiar with Sun and Moon, so Gen 7 I wasn't super familiar with. It took me a while to end up beating it, and then my save got corrupted anyway, so I never really fully beat the game. But Buzzwole was always that one, Ultra Beast where I was like, looks interesting, and the only reason it looked interesting was because it was a buff-ass mosquito, and its name was Buzzwole. To my surprise, its name was Buzzwole, so I named it Buzzwole. Buzzwole joined the team. It's the muscle. Alright, for tier 3, we ended up taking Jolteon, the nice and speedy evolution that it is. We ended up taking Jolteon just to be a nice and powerful pivot. It can Volt Switch, and then it can also hit hard with choice specs as well. Nice and powerful T-Bolt, maybe an HP Ice or an HP Grass, anything like that. I would love to just be able to utilize correctly for the team. It's all about using it the right way. Also for tier 3, we ended up snagging Porygon 2. Porygon 2 is a Pokemon that I've always seen people use, but I've never used myself. So I wanted to, finally step up onto the trend. So, obviously we're going to slap a Eviolite on that thing, make it a nice and powerful defensive monster, and just rock out and see what we can do with it. So, Porygon 2, welcome to the team. Tier 4, we ended up taking Regirock. Regirock, the nice and powerful H-Face. Shout out to Hayden. We ended up grabbing Regirock just so that we can have a nice and powerful defensive wall. You never know what you can do with a Regirock. Its defenses are base 200, I believe. If I'm wrong, or have it corrected on the screen, but I'm pretty sure it's base 200, and I think its special defense isn't that bad either. I think that's like base 100, and its attack isn't that bad at all. I think that's base 100. So overall, it's pretty decent around around that. So we're gonna rock out with Regirock and see if we can at least have a nice and decent wall. Alright, to T5 we go. We have nice and powerful Mr. Mime, aka Mr. Meme. So Mr. Meme here is our fairy backup, also another psychic user on the team. So basically my whole thought behind drafting Mr. Mime, I couldn't really make up my mind for a T5 pick. So I just looked at what we didn't have on the team, and what we didn't have was some fairy power. And the fairies that were left over at that point in the draft weren't really ideal in my opinion. Plus Mr. Mime gets Technician, so I mean, it can run Fake Out, if you want to do that. Who knows? But it also gets access to different fairy moves as well. Maybe it can set up. We'll have to see what we can do with Mr. Mime. And now over to our free picks. Now the free picks were a little different. Like I said, you had an allotment of 400 points, give or take. Whether you took a tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3 mega, we ended up taking a T1 mega, so I think we ended up having less than 400. I think we ended up having like 360. So we were a little bit behind the curve with points and drafting some free mons. So for our first free pick, we ended up taking Mandibuzz. You know, we can default with Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz also has access to foul play, while it is also defensive as well. So, you know, if we really needed to get some hazards out of the field, any toxic spikes, any stealth rocks, we can definitely get rid of that. We can, you know, flip the script on somebody's offensive Pokemon. They're physically offensive Pokemon, and, you know, run that foul play. See what we can do with that. Overall, just a dope ass bird, big ass turkey bird. All right, so for our second free pick, we ended up taking Celebi, which we really needed to take a grass type Pokemon. We really didn't have any grass coverage, and that's also our third psychic type Pokemon on the team. So we have 3 psychics, but they're all dual type psychics. But I'm not sure if that's going to really bite us in the ass. You know, knockoff is very prevalent, so we'll have to see. So hopefully we can just, you know, somehow get around all that. But Celebi, you know, it's in the same category as Mew with its stats all being base 100. So I figured, you know, it was a well-rounded Pokemon, and we needed some grass coverage, so we took Celebi. Next up, we ended up taking the MVP from last year. Yep, that's right, we're taking Weezing. Hashtag bring him back. So we ended up taking Weezing, our nemesis. He put in work last year as a nice and bulky defensive monster. So we're taking him again just to see if we can do more with him. Weezing really grew on me last season. Quickly became one of my favorite Pokemon. I didn't expect Weezing to, you know, swoop into my life like that, just sweep me off my feet. But we ended up taking him this year to see if he can take the crown of MVP again. And for our last free pick, we ended up taking Ambipom. Shout out to Kyle with that one. We ended up taking Ambipom. He's gonna be putting hands on everybody. Ambipom, I believe Ambipom gets Technician. Does it get Technician? I'm actually not sure. Of course, it gets access to that stab fake out. It gets access to all of the elemental punches. It gets access to shit. It gets Skill Link. I know it gets Skill Link, so I'm not sure what moves that it would use Skill Link for. I don't remember. I know it doesn't get Rock Blast. No, that's not a thing. But it definitely gets access to a lot of cool things there. A lot of different fighting type moves as well that we can use with it. I'm pretty sure it gets Technician. Let me see if it gets Technician. Okay, let's see. It gets, yeah, it does get Technician. It gets Technician, so it can learn, you know, all different types of good moves. So I'm excited to see what we're able to do with Ambipom. And for our Mega Pokemon pick, we ended up scooping up Mega Charizard X. Like I said, Mega Charizard X was a T1 Mega Pokemon, so we ended up losing about 40 points, I believe, from our free agent picks. But I think it was well worth it. I like both Mega Charizard Y and Mega Charizard X. But I wanted to scoop up X just for the fact that, you know, it gets Tough Claws, I can D-Dance, and maybe I can get that late game sweep, or maybe that early game sweep, who knows, get a D-Dance off and, you know, just go to town. That would be quite nice. That'd be quite nice, but we'll have to see. This season we're gonna have to play right, and we're gonna have to play a lot smarter than we did last season. So we're just going to see what we can do. I'm not going to claim to be any super talented or a veteran or seasoned, you know, Pokemon battler or anything like that. I'm just here to have some fun. I had fun last season, so I'm definitely going to try to have some fun this season. I'm going to try to, you know, knock some rust off of myself here, so that we can at least make some smart plays. I'm gonna try to use the tools that we have available to us to make sure that I'm able to make some better plays this season. Like I said, I'm not very familiar with Gen 7, so that's what I claimed. That's what I aimed to do this season. Hopefully, I can, you know, familiarize myself with the meta this season. I was pretty familiar with Gen 6, so Gen 7, hopefully, you know, Gen 6 just pours right into it, which it should. But I just want to get familiar with it and make sure we can get this shit done. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the team builder for week 1. Bye-bye.